What is the number one reason that small business owners wind up in tax trouble? It's not because they're broke. It's not because they made no money. And it's not because their life is falling apart. What I normally see as being the number one reason is that business owners don't transition their thinking from survival mode that benefited them earlier when they started their business. And as they start to get some scale and some success, they don't transition that thinking over into being a manager of their business, particularly their business finances. And they kind of keep that do it all yourself, survival instinct manner of running their business, and they perpetuate that as their revenue increases. The reason I say that is because of all the clients that I've served, 95% of them actually on paper have made some pretty good money. Occasionally we get clients whose businesses failed or they never really got it off the ground. That does happen, but the majority of the clients I talk to, at least on paper, are pretty successful. They're making six figures, multiple six figures, seven figures, sometimes even more than seven figures in revenue in their business. So their issue isn't that they simply have no money. It's not like they were unemployed or disabled or elderly and just had no cash to survive, right? What happened was when that cash came in, they had no systematic plan to manage that cash effectively. And as far as it goes with taxes, they didn't have a plan to quantify what their tax burden was going to be and then allocate that cash successfully to be able to pay it. And so what I hear from a lot of clients is they feel like they're broke. They feel this visceral, gut-wrenching feeling that they're broke. But the reality is, when we get into it a little bit deeper, they actually are making some decent money. And it shows when we start putting their financial records together. That is the number one reason business owners fall into this problem. And it's also the number one reason that when they do have the problem, they have it in a very big way. The vast majority of clients that I work with owe at least five figures, if not six figures. I mean, honestly, a lot of times seven or multiple seven figures in back taxes because they just have so much profit on paper that wound up being taxed. So my advice to you, if you're a business owner and you're starting to feel like maybe you're having some success in your business, is to really start taking the financial side of things seriously. You need a good accountant, a good CPA, and you need to be dedicated to understanding your cash flow better to be able to actually pay your tax liabilities ongoing. I'm not here to lecture you on that. I'm just here to tell you that when people get in trouble, this is the number one reason why. And if you are already in trouble, what you need to do is take immediate steps to remediate this before the IRS is coming down on you like a ton of bricks so you can resolve it in as favorable of a way as you're entitled to. That's a lot easier to do if you can tackle that problem or start tackling it before the IRS is going guns blazing after you. Concurrently, you also need to start implementing systems into your business so you can actually gain control of your overall financial picture. And once you do that, you're going to be able to stop the bleeding and move on without problems, and you will be able to start having a basis to actually resolve your tax problem for good.